Good morning, Tribal Jazzman Scholar. I want to talk about rhythm. It's this fascinating sequence of sounds that have a repetition and have a pattern, and we call that rhythm. It can't be random. You can't drop a bag of marbles on a bunch of drums and have rhythm. But you can strike those drums in time and vary the placement, and you get rhythm. But rhythm isn't just in drums. Rhythms are embedded in our lives. Of course, there's the heartbeat, and there's these centers of the brain that pulsate, and the seasons, the moon. There's growth cycles, there's menstrual cycles, there's rituals that we embed throughout the year. There's rituals we have during our day. Some people wake up and have rituals. Sometimes just the brushing the teeth, the making the coffee, the eating the breakfast. These things have a ritual rhythm to them. I was intrigued to make the realization that what I believe constitutes good writing is not good use of vocabulary and well-structured sentences and good ideas entirely. Those are a good part of it. But strong writing has to have a rhythm to it. When you read something that's well written, it needs to have a flow to it, an organic movement. And then I had that realization when I was trying to read novels that didn't flow in rhythm, and I kept feeling like I was stumbling. And I analyzed them in terms of the rhythm inherent in the writing, and I saw how flawed the rhythm was to my ears. And then I began to realize that well-spoken people, articulate people, and everyone has brilliant moments of articulation, but it is one of those things like music or singing or something that requires practice to get good at it. And so I have friends sometimes who are really articulate and other times not, and I myself feel like I'm articulate sometimes and sometimes I'm not. But when I feel articulate, I notice that there's no effort in the sense of forcing anything. But I also notice that the words flow and have a pattern to them. And the length of the words and the emphasis on the syllables and the pauses I use, everything seems to have a rhythmic cadence to it that's quite pleasing to the ears. It's almost as if I'm dancing across the words. So here we have it within language, in the art forms, dance and drama and storytelling and painting. Everything's embedded with a rhythm. And I'm intrigued with this idea that rhythm may be more innate and organic to everything than we consider normally. I was in the park yesterday and I was listening to the birds. And of course, a bird chirping has a rhythm, but what happens when you have several birds chirping at once? Well, there's a deeper rhythm there. And then there's a set of these 5 sycamore trees in this park, and I've been watching them every day. And some of them are budding leaves, some of them are not. And I'm wondering if I were to look at them through their cycle of leaf production, if I could do a time-lapse photograph or a video and observe it in a shorter sequence, would I see a rhythm in the way these leaves are bursting forth among the trees? I'm inclined to conjecture, hypothesize, put forth, make a presumption even that perhaps these rhythms are so intricate to life that might help us understand how a linear history that came about recently in our own past with the advent of writing, how that linear history may really throw us out of what's organic to us, which is to feel time as a cycle, as a rhythm. Indigenous peoples, nature-based peoples, inherently view time as cyclical, in a rhythm. They don't see it as linear. And that linear history has created perhaps has created one of the struggles we humans find ourselves in feeling that we belong. So that's the thought for this morning from Tribal Jazzman Scholar. Thanks for joining me.